So typically it was your big one-day workshop with as many staff members as you could get in.
Yes.
And we'd have an external facilitator, and we'd thrash around ideas and thoughts about where we thought the organisation needed to go.
Yep.
And then we'd write up a very high-level plan, and it would sit in our G drive and no one would pretty much look at it. I found over the years that whilst I've been a part of the process and that's the way it was, I walk away feeling, what does that actually give us on the ground here? What are we working with to move forward? So that wasn't what I wanted to do this time. As much for me as it was for the rest of the staff, but also for our internal and external stakeholders, including clients, that they really get the, I guess they're encouraged by the fact that we mean what we say we're going to do, and that we have that conviction to it.
Yes.
Looking at it from a client's point of view in those very early days gave me confidence that we were on the right track.
Yes.
And then with the human-centred design, I think initially I felt a little bit hesitant having the conversations with the stakeholders, because I think part of me was thinking, oh, where is this going to go, and what are people going to say? And I think that the thing that struck me the most, Andrew, was that our stakeholders had so much to say. And they hadn't necessarily been given that opportunity.
Yes.
And what surprised me out of the, oh goodness, there must have been 30 plus hours, was the number of opportunities that people came up with in those conversations. The number of genuine ideas and opportunities for collaboration that came up as a result of those conversations. I'll be honest, starting with that blank page and no set questions.
Yes, can be a bit wacky at times.
It's a little bit scary, but it was fabulous because there wasn't an agenda. The only agenda was really looking at, as we've discussed many times, you know, what are people saying? What are people hearing? You know, and what are their thoughts?
Yes.
And leaving it as open as it was, even though, as I say, I found it a little bit confronting at first.
Yes.
It goes back to what I said before. I was really surprised at what people had to say. So when we got to the board, we didn't have any preconceived ideas about what we wanted to get out of that conversation. It was again just really getting their thoughts and you know what they were saying and feeling, and you know all of those sorts of things that made a massive difference. We're working on a set of opportunities that have come out of conversations with all our stakeholders. These aren't things that we've made up or thought maybe we should try. What it does for me as CEO, I guess, it gives me a real sense of direction.